Okay, so this is exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to integrate upcycling as a department in the industrial design as an alternative approach to mitigating environmental challenges, especially in Botswana. So the issue of waste in Africa is a very huge problem. It's a very serious problem. Actually, a research that is done has shown that there is so much waste that is produced that the landfills can actually more than that, the landfills can actually hold in Africa, especially the municipal waste. And the research also shows that of all that waste, 70% of it is recyclable waste. But the unfortunate part is that only 4% of that waste is recyclable. So we're talking about 125 million tons of municipal solid waste. And like my predecessor I've just talked about, Kevin, it shows that despite the fact that there is a lot of waste that goes into the landfills or that goes into the dumping sites, there is potential in turning around this waste to improve the livelihoods of our people, our communities, or even to improve our interaction with the environment. So most of these waste, like I've just said, 90% of it is disposed in an uncontrolled dumping site and landfills, and it's often associated with burning. 90% of the world's biggest dumping sites actually in Africa, and all of them in sub-Saharan Africa. And this presents a very huge challenge. It presents a very huge challenge to us as the academia and the industry as a whole. So we took this initiative to make sure that we as industrial design department, we try and bring in this understanding in our student as potential or prospective designers, so that they start looking at waste from a different end, because this waste is not just waste, but is waste of products that have been designed. It's waste of products that have been manufactured. And who are the people who are going to be designing this product? Who are the people who are going to be manufacturing this product? They are the very prospective designers that we are talking about. And we are saying if we integrate this understanding into our students, then eventually we would be able to take hold of the future and be able to make sure that this waste does not go to the landfills or to the dumping sites as soon as they reach their end of life. So as an institution of higher learning, we try to come up with this approach, and we try to teach our students the role that upcycling can take in terms of waste management. So we gave our students the work, and this work that we gave them, we were pinning mainly on the upcycling framework and the cradle-to-cradle approach. So we made sure that the students follow the UB design thinking approach. We gave them a scenario where the student had to come up with challenges that they can think of, which can incorporate upcycling issues. And they had to look at the different wastes that are going into the landfills, some of the materials or some of the consumer products which are considered to be obsolete, which they can then transform and upcycle and bring them into, or give them a new lease of life. So these upcycling approaches, we use them as an alternative approach to mitigate environmental challenges. So as future designers and engineers, the issue is how can they affect planetary revolution through their designs? So we gave them the understanding of the cradle-to-cradle approach. We gave them the understanding of the upcycling principles, and we use that as a guide of the learning process. So this is the 5 steps towards the cradle-to-cradle design. And the first step is to identify and then reduce hazardous materials that make up a product. So we interrogated products. We gathered around obsolete consumer products. We analyzed them. We looked at the different material that they have been made of. We looked at the different manufacturing processes that had been involved, and how those manufacturing processes affect the environment. And then we tried also to look at the second step there, which identifies the materials that can be reutilized at the end of the product life. And then the third step also, which is to assess and then reduce the amount of energy required for production of such products. So our students then, following this, the UB design thinking approach, they ended up picking up quite a number of consumer products which were considered to be obsolete, which were already on their way to the landfill, and then looked at how they can incorporate them into upcycling them into more valuable products. So we gave them this challenge to identify those consumer products which are of low value and repurpose them into valuable products. So they conceptualize quite a number of products. So the first one that I will show you here is an old metal cabinet. Our student picked this old metal cabinet, which was laying around in the university, and it was already on its way to the landfill. So our students took this one, and then they also looked at the fridge ice grill from the maintenance department, and some of the waste wood materials that have been considered as waste in the department and other sister departments. And they looked at a way of giving these products, or these low value products, a new lease of life. And this is what they came up with. They started using the cabinets to make sure that they come up with a table. So they decided to cut it into two. They use the ordinary tools that are there in the workshop, which uses not necessarily too many or too much energy or too much resources. And then they started transforming it into a valuable product. So just to cut a long story short, this is the final product that they came up with. That's a study table there. And then the ice grill, they used it as a bookshelf. And if you look closely, you see that the doors that are open, that can be opened on either side of the table there, was the doors of the cabinet, as you can see it in there. So that's the first one of the product that our students came up with. And then the other team, the other group came up with a balcony chill table. These ones, they looked at the old tires. They look at the pallets, these pallets that are used to carry blocks of materials and foodstuffs in stores or in chain stores. And then they turn this or they upcycle this into a balcony chill table. They also were using the normal manufacturing processes that we use in the department. They installed those tires, assembled the pallet together, installed some drawers which they picked from the old drawers, assembled them together to make those tires into the legs of the balcony table. They made these tires, or upcycled these tires into stools, as you can see on the table. I mean, on the picture below here of our students showing how this upcycled product can be used. The other product is this one. This one is interesting because this one is a biltong maker. They used the 25-liter buckets, old buckets. After using this oil, these buckets are thrown away. So they decided to take these and then convert them into biltong makers. So they had incorporated some of the air extractors and heating bulb in there. This product, they manufactured it here in the department, and then we used it or we tested it after they did it, and it could actually dry meat in less than 24 hours. So it's one of those products which they came up with to show the issue of upcycling. Then the other one is this one of the metal drums. This one, the other group upcycled it into a study table or a coffee table. As you can see in there, they cut the drum into two. The other half, they splitted it into two also to make the legs for the table, and then they put in the old wooden piece there at the top of the coffee table. So the aim was to train the next generation of designers to view waste differently and to see waste as wealth, and then also to try and design products and services that will circulate longer in the market before they can be disposed of. And then the other thing would be to change, or the aim was to change the students' attitude towards upcycled products, so that as design students, they can see upcycled products differently, and they can be the voice of these upcycled products, so that they can delay the time that they take before they are disposed of to the landfills. The other aim was to train the next generation of these designers to contribute positively towards circular economy, and then also to produce out of them agents of change for the future. So basically, this is what we have been trying to do in the industry. We've done this for a year now, and we're looking forward to even building up on it and taking it a bit further from there. That's all for you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.